But yeah, like it's like when the Colts when they tried to replace Peyton Manning with Andrew Luck.
No, but
it worked out.
It did work out.
Were
you listening to Pat McAfee today?
No, what did he say?
He literally referenced
that.
He said he referenced it today where he was saying that, holy crap, what were they talking about? Who's somebody that just got okay? So it's Jordan Love and Aaron Rodgers. He's talking about that situation.
Yes, it's like Aaron Rodgers.
If we look back in a year, if Aaron Rodgers wins a Super Bowl, but then Jordan Love wins comeback of the year, or is a Pro Bowl or All Pro, and you look 3 down years, Aaron Rodgers is still playing. Maybe he has a Super Bowl ring and has an MVP, but Jordan Love is like an All Pro.
They'd be fine with that.
Yeah,
because they know that they replaced Aaron Rodgers successfully. But the problem is Aaron Rodgers.
But he said it'd be more akin to the Andrew Luck, Broncos, where everyone's cool with it. It worked out, but obviously, you think that
it's like Peyton won a Super Bowl, not
his best years with arguably the Broncos.
I mean, arguably. I mean, his best years are with the Colts, but still, he still had good years with the Broncos.
But that's situation we're comparing it to Scoot Henderson.
Yes,
to Damian Lillard.
It works. It worked. Andrew Luck was a great player, but the thing is, one, is Scoot gonna actually work? And I don't think Scoot's gonna be a bust because I think he will be a great player. But one, is he going to be a great player? Because you don't know. And two, if he is a great player, is he going to be better than Dame?
That's a hard thing to ask.
That's a hard thing to say because Scoot can have a great career. He can have a Hall of Fame career, and he still might not be better than Dame.
And that's the big. You're taking a big swing, a big if with that. And we're gonna go over here, and there's some rumors that came out. Moving on from the whole draft aspect of this, but more so in the terms of what they're going to do this offseason. So what we're hearing from Michael Scotto on a recent edition of his podcast, we know Damian Lillard is going to stay, and that what they do with the third pick depends because, they're cool with Scoot Henderson or Brandon Miller. They think Brandon Miller fits what they need to do. They also like Scoot Henderson. But the thing is they're looking at this situation. They figured out that Jeremy Grant is a great fit next to Damian Lillard. They want more of those guys. I've said if you can somehow figure out, send Anthony Simons, the third overall pick, and maybe another pick or two to the Raptors, then reroute Nurkic to another team because you assume the Raptors don't want Nurkic because they're going to re-sign Pirtle. You bring in not only Pascal Siakam, who kind of might be a weird fit next to Jeremy Grant, but you also bring in OG Anunoby. Now you're telling me Damian Lillard, OG Anunoby, Pascal Siakam, and Jeremy Grant as your first 4 guys, and then you go out and get a center, maybe you trade for a Daniel Gafford, or you sign.
That team at least makes the playoffs
as a top 6 seed.
And that's good for them. The Blazers want that they need progress.
I don't see Zach LaVine being the thing is a lot of the guys that are tradable are floor raisers. They're not ceiling raisers. Yeah, and I see a combination of
Pascal's a combination of both.
Yeah, depending
Whereas
on the team.
Zach LaVine is not.
He's just a floor raiser.
And that's fine, but the problem is the Blazers aren't exactly going to trade the number 3 pick for a floor raiser. That doesn't make any sense. So, obviously, there was some Jaylen Brown trade offers thrown out there too, but
I don't see Jaylen
every single day. That looks less and less like it's.
He's going to sign the contract, and then down the road,
yeah, he's going to sign the contract, and I bet you in 3 years out of the 5-year deal, after 3 seasons, maybe 4, maybe not 4. They probably won't wait that long. Probably 2 or 3 years after the 5-year deal, I think maybe they'd be like, well, if this doesn't work, we trade you.
Yeah, give us. Hey, by the way, guys,
trade him to the Hawks for Trae Young on his impending free agency, so that way everybody wins.
Let us know how the audio sounds. If it's too loud, if we should lower it a little bit, or if it's too quiet, let us know down below right now in the comments with the audio. We're just trying out a new setup with our handheld mic connected to the preamp I have over here. But yeah, no, I think with the Damian Lillard situation, you look at it like this, okay, obviously Jaylen Brown would be great, but if you take a situation where you think, I think OG Anunoby and Pascal Siakam are the best players that might be tradable to get. I don't know who else out in the market right now.
Probably, yeah, because I don't think they're better. It's better to get those guys than Zach LaVine because you don't want that contract.
Yeah, Mikal Bridges is untradeable.
Who's another guy that has a bad contract that you don't
untradeable,
want?
But
untouchable. They're not going to trade him. Who's another guy that has a bad contract that
Bradley Beal isn't going anywhere, but you could say he's one of those guys.
That's a big contract. That's pretty hard.
I see DeMar DeRozan as a floor raiser. I love the guy. I just
I think he's a ceiling raiser. I don't think Zach LaVine is, but DeMar
if we're saying Pascal Siakam's a little bit of both, depending on the situation, DeMar has to be the third option on it as a ceiling raiser.
You're telling me DeMar is behind Pascal Siakam in that offense? Is that what you're telling me? Come on. No.
At this point in his career,
no,
yes.
No, not at this point in his career. Forget he averaged 28 a game 2 years ago.
You know what team that I think is perfect for DeMar DeRozan? the Milwaukee Bucks.
That actually would be a good fit for him.
To replace right now Chris Middleton with DeMar DeRozan, I'd take that.
That'd actually be a great fit.
You probably get him cheaper too.
Yeah, but the thing, like DeMar's better than Siakam. Don't come on.
I don't know at this point in his career.
I still think he is at this point in his career. Come on now. This is DeMar DeRozan we're talking about.
But Pascal plays both ways.
I know, but and DeMar doesn't really do that anymore. But
that's what I'm saying. That's
I know,
why
but it's still
the win share, the value of winning. I think Pascal gives you more winning basketball right now than.
I don't know if he does though, because I think DeMar instantly helps the Blazers out offensively.
All right.
The spacing worries me a little bit, but they still have a bunch of shooters. So
now you look around the. I also said I don't see DeAndre Ayton. Like I love DeAndre Ayton.
That's a contract that's tough to move.
And the thing is like I think DeAndre Ayton. Yes, he's been capped, but because of Monty Williams, and that I think he can get better. But I don't know how much better he gets, and I don't think that him getting.
He's like
better,
an 18-10 guy, and I think how much better he gets is like a 22 and like 10 maybe,
or 22 and 13.
Yeah, something like 22 and 11 or something. Like it'll be slightly better, but it won't be like Embiid or Jokic level dominant big guys like they thought he was going to be.
If like I would completely understand if they somehow the Mavs, this is like not Blazers talk, but right here the Mavs, if they were able to trade Davis Bertans, Tim Hardaway, and JaVale McGee, and send Davis somewhere else, and then send just Tim Hardaway and JaVale to the Mavs, no picks involved, and just take DeAndre Ayton. I understand if the Mavs did that because they didn't involve any picks and they just got themselves a guy.
Yeah.
And they keep Kyrie.
Yeah, they just got Ayton and they get to keep Kyrie.
That's not bad. That's the only team that I see where.
But the problem is when you start to have to give up picks to get Ayton, and you start to have to give up your roster and picks.
But you just moved off of 3 bad contracts and you just took his, and you're taking the risk that him being the third option, he's going to be this hyper efficient.
If they're giving 3 bad, the Suns don't do that trade.
No, but I'm saying.
Yeah, I know. They're saying that the Mavs.
The Suns, you'd send Davis Bertans somewhere else to get maybe either for like other assets. You could send the Suns. You know what I mean? To like maybe a rebuilding team or something where you send it like here. You send like Davis Bertans and like a couple seconds for like Kelly Olynyk and Rudy Gay. And you send Kelly Olynyk, Rudy Gay, and Tim Hardaway Jr. and JaVale McGee, and I think a couple of those guys' contracts are only partially guaranteed, so the Suns can waive half the guys and maybe keep like Tim Hardaway, and if they believe JaVale can do something for them. But back to the Blazers, it's just they don't have the opportunity to do that. Like already they're looking to trade Jusuf Nurkic, and I would be calling up the Wizards. And I mean the Wizards I love them, but I'd be like, here's Jusuf Nurkic and a bunch of second-round picks for Daniel Gafford.
I think the Celtics should also look at getting Nurkic as a backup center behind
I've
Robert
actually
Williams.
I floated out that the Blazers, if in a vacuum where I don't think it happens, but Jaylen Brown gets traded.
Yeah, we talked about it yesterday on the show a little bit.
Jaylen Brown and Al Horford for Jusuf Nurkic, Anthony Simons,
the number 3 pick, and probably a second first-round pick.
Unprotected first-round pick.
Yeah,
you do that. I know Al Horford's only making 9.5, but you give him Nurkic, Nurkic and Robert Williams can be your 2 centers.
Yeah.
And Nurkic's deal eventually will expire before Robert Williams, and then Al Horford.
That way you don't need to worry about keeping them both because Robert Williams is your guy.
And then for the front court, you can bring in Al Horford. You already have Drew Eubanks. Then you go out and sign someone like Andre Drummond. Now you got Drew Eubanks, who's kind of in the middle. He's an all-around center, who can kind of shoot. He's kind of like he's like an average backup center. Like you want to play. He can spot start. Nothing bad about him. And then you get Andre Drummond for situations where you need a lot of rebounding. Okay.
What Drew Eubanks can't do.
Yeah, what Drew Eubanks can't do. Like Drew Eubanks can rebound
well, but not like Drummond. But
like on the offense, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then you have Al Horford as your starting center to space the floor and be like
a good passer and ball handling center kind of.
But then when you need defense or more things, you put Drummond or Eubanks out there.
Because Al Horford, the Al Horford ability to switch and guard multiple positions,
or 3-team trade with the Celtics, you send Horford to the Wizards and you send Gafford to the Blazers, and they get Gafford signed Drummond, and they have Eubanks still, and they run a committee.
Still work out Nurkic and Williams as the 2.
Yeah,
I mean, like that trade's not going to happen because the Celtics aren't trading Jaylen Brown right now. The Jaylen Brown trade got pushed back 2 years at least because of the All-NBA, because they didn't get swept in the playoffs.
Yeah, the Blazers. But I sit here and I think the Blazers finally realized that they want more guys like Simons. I mean, in a convoluted, in a vacuum world, I think right here you call up the Warriors, and you're like Naz Little, or I mean not even Naz Little, Nurkic, Simons, no picks involved, Klay Thompson.
Yeah, in a vacuum world, yes. But
The Warriors are saying no.
the Blazers also aren't doing that trade because Klay Thompson is a bad contract.
I know,
Like a
but
really bad contract.
I
He's
know,
getting paid $43 million.
I know
That is bad. That is a bad for a guy that
in the
isn't
NBA,
what he used.
Can you have teams take on part of the contract, or it doesn't work like that?
No,
Or
but it's not like baseball or soccer.
NFL.
It's not like baseball, soccer, NFL. Where
The NFL, I know you can trade a quarterback, and they'll be like, okay, we're gonna eat 18 million. You'll take
Yeah.
the other 20 million.
Yeah, and like whereas like in MLB and in soccer,
do the same
in
thing.
soccer, it's like you retain a percentage of the salary. That's
Okay. They don't do that in basketball. I'm pretty
No,
sure. I've
no.
never seen anything
they
being
don't.
like
Nope.
X. I know, like during the season, the cap hit lowers because already part of that salary's been paid.
Yes, but like other sports have that other sports have that too.
But it's not that
It's
you can just be like, I'm trading you. We'll pay 15 million this season. It's because the contracts are guaranteed. You take on the full contract.
Yeah.
Okay.
And even in baseball, where the contracts are fully guaranteed, and same with soccer, they still can have like in soccer, for example, when you loan somebody out, you can be like, hey, you're gonna pay.
In basketball,
you're gonna pay all his wages.
Do they restructure contracts?
I mean, like
It would have to be a renegotiation where they tack on extra years.
They'd have to renegotiate the entire. Whereas like in football, it's just a simple, we'll just restructure your contract
Tack
and make
on
this,
a couple of years.
We'll make this guaranteed. We'll make this like unguaranteed incentive money a signing bonus. That way, it's less of a cap hit for us, and that way, like that's.
I just really like the idea of that.
That's what the Celtics.
Nurkic, Anthony Simons.
The Chiefs did that with Mahomes.
The thing is like if the Warriors really were willing to move on from Klay Thompson, okay, give Klay Thompson 2 second-round picks for Anthony Simons and Nurkic. Okay, then if the Blazers can, they extend Klay Thompson, restructure the deal to lower the cap hit this year, and push the money down the road. Okay, and you bring back Jeremy Grant. Okay, and you somehow open up cap space where you can still go out and use maybe like 20 million. You got yourself Klay Thompson, Damian Lillard. I mean, it's never.
That's never gonna happen. But yeah, like in the vacuum, that's a nice
I just
idea.
don't think there's good enough guys out there for them to go get.
There really isn't. There's not any good enough guys out there for them to really get right now. Then again, like, I mean, it's not like, for example, when Boston Celtics were shit and Paul Pierce got hurt, and they were lucky because that Celtics team had 2 stars that were on the trade block. Kevin Garnett was on the trade block because the Timberwolves weren't going to keep him, and Ray Allen was on the trade block because Seattle wasn't going to keep him either because they were rebuilding. There's nothing like that in this offseason to say that the Blazers can
Every team that was rebuilding is trying to make the jump out of rebuilding.
Yeah, and they're keeping all their assets, whereas like the Timberwolves were stuck in nowhere in purgatory, and they're like, how do we get good? And also Kevin McHale wanted to do.
I was about to say
Danny
the only
Ainge.
other player that they can trade right now, would you package Anthony Simons, Nurkic, but you're gonna have to send Nurkic to a different team and a third team to do this trade with a 3rd pick for Karl Anthony Towns. That's the best player. That's the best player, and they haven't even came out and said it. But I have made videos on it. I'm a Timberwolves fan, and other Timberwolves fans agree with me. Even though we don't want Rudy Gobert, I know Timberwolves fans have said that we had to choose to trade Rudy Gobert or Karl Anthony Towns.
But you can't trade Rudy Gobert.
We can't trade Rudy Gobert because we made the commitment, so we have to trade Karl Anthony Towns because that's what we got. We gotta double down at this point.
You guys need picks.
We need picks.
We need picks.
We need to recoup the draft assets we lost and build our depth up. And the only tradable players here. So you do a deal where you send Nurkic to another team. Maybe you think of a team like that needs a center. I can't even think of one. Maybe you do the Mavericks. You have the Mavericks send Tim Hardaway and JaVale to the Timberwolves. You send
Dwight Powell or something.
Dwight Powell.
Is he a free agent? He's a free agent.
So the 2 I just said.
I thought he had one more year on his
or
deal
maybe you do like Maxi Kleber and Tim Hardaway to the Timberwolves. Nurkic goes to the Mavs. Then you send Anthony Simons in the 3rd pick. Maybe I think they want to keep Nas Little, and the 3rd pick to the T-Wolves. Karl Anthony Towns goes to the Blazers.
Yeah.
Nurkic to the Mavs. Simons in the 3rd pick to the Wolves. The Wolves can then package the 3rd pick and any other contracts like Mike Conley to actually go get somebody. But the Wolves then have, backing up Rudy Gobert. You have yourself, Nathan Knight or whoever they sign.
The Wolves
or they can they can
more.
re-sign Naz Reid. And then they also get themselves Tim Hardaway Jr. as their 6th man.
They might want more than just the 3rd overall pick, though. I know it's Cat, but still, the Wolves might obviously this is never going to happen, but because
That's actually a realistic trade because
Yeah.
they need a point guard, and
Yeah.
Anthony Simons would let them move on from Mike Conley. Anthony Simons, Anthony Edwards backcourt.
Yeah,
You have
and then
Jaden
they clear up
McDaniels.
Space. They finally get draft assets
They
back.
get Jaden
even though it
McDaniels.
sucks to
They
get
have
rid of
Rudy
Cat.
Gobert.
Yeah.
They can bring back Naz Reid now, who
But
could be
yeah.
the starting power forward next to.
Like it sucks to get rid of Cat, but like
You're right. They probably want more picks. Maybe they have to ask for picks from the 10th pick too.
oh my god.
Then they package the 3rd and 10th pick.
Yeah, I mean they could, but
Who do they trade for?
again? Who do they trade? Who do they trade for?
They call up the Magic and they ask for like I don't think Markelle Fultz fits, but like Cole Anthony, Chuma KK.
Who else would they give up 2 first-round picks for?
I don't even know because like the Magic need a point guard. Maybe they call
They
up.
call up the Knicks and
the-
say
the
Julius, then they
Rockets?
call up the Knicks and we're like, we want Julius
What
Randle.
about the Rockets?
They
The Rockets.
want Julius Randle.
What if they call up the Rockets and they're like, send us KPJ, Jabari Smith, Jay Sean Tate,
The Rockets give up on their core already.
Emma Udoka's there,
And Udoka's not there to rebuild.
and they send them Mike Conley, the 3rd and the 10th pick,
And then
and then Ime Udoka packages those picks for Jaylen Brown, the 3rd, the 4th,
Package it.
and the
He-
10th.
yeah, the 3rd, the 4th, and the 10th, and then one more. Because Rudy Gobert was worth 4 first-round picks. I know Jaylen Brown is. So yeah.